which cleanser should I use, which scrub, which serum. So I couldn't really recommend anything effective on the market. So I decided for my patients to come up with a few products to help with their skincare regime. So it took me some years to really do the research and work on the formulation for the product. So these products are the result of years of research, and they're based on delivering hydration through the skin, strengthening skin barrier function, and reducing the visible signs of irritation. Another super important focus of my skincare line is skin barrier function, and these need to be super healthy. So hydration is actually the key. So I make sure with the skincare products to give your skin in deeper layers enough hydration to achieve like healthy skin barrier function and healthy, glowy, hydrated skin. And I very much believe in an anti-inflammatory lifestyle. So healthy skin just doesn't come from the products you use, but it's also the result of what you're putting inside your body. That's why I developed my supplements to work in conjunctions with my skincare line, and why I always recommend a balanced, healthy lifestyle with enough sleep, less stress, and a really good anti-inflammatory diet, exercise, and just use really good products, and then your skin will be healthy and beautiful and have this amazing glow. Love your skin.
So welcome everyone. My name is Alexandra. I'm one of the GRLA co-presidents. Thank you for choosing to be here with us today. We want to welcome all of you to our last official GRLA event for this fall. Today we are delighted to welcome Dr. Barbara Sturm, founder and CEO of Dr. Barbara Sturm Molecular Cosmetics, to speak about the science of skincare. I will now pass on the mic to my co-president, Ana Lucia, who will provide us with some background information on our speaker.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ana Lucia, and I am the other co-president of GRLA. Before we pass the mic on to Professor Hamilton and Dr. Sturm, we would like to offer a quick insight into our speaker's professional background. Dr. Barbara Sturm is a German aesthetics doctor, widely renowned for her anti-inflammatory philosophy and her non-surgical anti-aging skin treatments. Her unique science-based products and philosophy of healing the skin have achieved cult status with skincare devotees worldwide. Dr. Sturm began her medical career in orthopedics as part of a team that developed cutting-edge treatments from inflammatory conditions like osteoarthritis. She then translated science from her clinical research and orthopedic practice into the field of aesthetics. Our distinguished moderator for today is Rebecca Hamilton, a professor of marketing and marketing area coordinator at Georgetown University's McDonald School of Business. In conversation with Professor Hamilton, Dr. Sturm is going to expand on the science of skincare. Our conversation will approximately run for 55 minutes, followed by a 15-minute space for Q&A. You may submit your questions through the chat throughout the session, and we kindly ask you to mute your microphones now. Without further ado, Dr. Sturm and Professor Hamilton, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Ana Lucia and Alexandra. And Dr. Sturm, welcome to Georgetown virtually. We're delighted to have you today.
I'm so excited. Thank you guys for having me. That's such an honor.
Thank you so much for talking with us about your company and your skincare line. It's really fascinating for us to hear about brands people love and the ideas and people behind them. So I look forward to our conversation. Your video provides a lot of information about the origins of Dr. Sturm's skincare line, but it doesn't tell us whether there was an aha moment when you decided to change your career and stop being an orthopedic surgeon and start being a skincare CEO. Tell us about that transition.
It wasn't really an aha moment. I think it's all, developed very organically throughout my life. I'm not someone who plans ahead much. I really live in the moment, and I take the challenges as they are coming. And when I worked as an orthopedic doctor with a group of scientists and orthopedic surgeon, first of all, I was a woman in the men's world, which I thought was quite challenging and fun. And so the science really fascinated me, and I had the best time. And then when I started looking into aesthetics and learning all the methods, how to inject Botox and filler at the time when nobody was doing it, and I was really working with the best doctors from Brazil, Canada. I learned the best techniques, and then I really translated the science from the orthopedics also into the skin. This is when I started really looking into what can be done to cells in the skin tissue. And so I was doing this more and more and more, and my focus was more on skin, still in the orthopedic clinic. So I was working as an orthopedic doctor and an aesthetic doctor. And at one point, my colleagues weren't so interested, and they kind of, I got quite some attention for my work in the skin, and they didn't like it. Whatever, so we departed, and so I was kind of forced to create my own clinic. And then in this own clinic, I was still working in the orthopedic field and an aesthetic, and then more and more aesthetic patient came. They asked for more skincare products. I created more skincare products, and then it developed further and further. And then I didn't do any marketing. I didn't do any PR. I hardly had a website. I didn't want to go and ask stores, please carry my products. As a doctor, you are used that people come to you, not the other way around. So this wasn't my thing. So I said to myself, actually, I only need to be at Net-a-Porter. My patients around the world could be delivered the products. It's very easy for me, they're luxury segment. So I went to Net-a-Porter and asked if they could take my products, which was kind of like an impossible task to get done, because I was someone, I wasn't known. I wasn't like, and David Olsen at the time, he was the beauty buyer for Net-a-Porter. He believed in me, and he said, okay, I'm taking your products. And then all the other retailers wanted to have my product. So it wasn't like, oh, now I'm starting a skincare, and now I'm only doing business, and now I'm my CEO, whatever. It wasn't like that. It was just, the business came to me. And I think the bottom of the business really is the quality of the products. In the end, if people or patients like the products, then there's a market for it. And, the market got really interested the more I had retailers, and then I went to Harrods and Space NK, and so the product got spread into the world, and now everybody is fascinated and loves it. So, but it wasn't, oh, now I'm doing skincare and now I'm doing business. In the end, I'm still a doctor, and I'm still at service to my patients, and that's what I love,
Interesting. So it sounds like you were a rather reluctant entrepreneur, and yet so successful in the launch of your products. Could you tell us a little bit more about your product line, how it developed from the skincare to some of the supplements and other offerings that you have?
So I started with a few. First, I started with the blood cream. I created a blood cream in 2002. Out of my own personal needs, actually. I wanted just to have something which would work on my skin, because I couldn't find anything in the market which would work. So I created this blood cream in 2002, which I'm still using up till today. And from that, my patients asked for more products. Dr. Sturm, which cleanser, which, exfoliator, what should I use? So I decided to create a few products. And obviously the science from the blood I couldn't take, into products on the mass market, because for the blood approach, people have to come to my clinic to have their blood drawn. So I was doing a lot of research about ingredient science and what I could do. From my orthopedic background, I was very much an anti-inflammatory doctor. Inflammation is what gives us a lot of problems in our tissue. It makes our tissue go down, makes us chronically sick. It makes us age. I mean, everything we don't like really in our system goes together with inflammation. And regarding our joints, inflammation causes osteoarthritis, causes aging. So this blood approach was pretty much anti-inflammatory. And that's a big part of my philosophy, not just in skincare products, but also in your lifestyle. And when we talk about ingredient science and what products need to do for your skin, and I'm a scientist and I did a lot of research, and everything I found for my skincare products was so fascinating and cutting edge, from telomerase activation over, anti-inflammation ingredients, which are bringing fantastic characteristics to us. So I decided that I don't only want this for my skin, I want this for every cell in my body. So I said, okay, what I put in my skincare, I also want for my entire system. So I created a line of supplements as well, which I'm now working on expanding, because I think it's really not just about putting the right products on, it's also about what not to put on your skin. It's also about how you sleep, how you stress, how you eat. And there's like, it's just like a round, lifestyle situation. No?
Yes, yes. I love the way you talk about your customers as your patients. How would you how would you describe your typical customer, your typical patient?
Oh, wow. That, I think my customer, my patient can start from when they are a baby, because honestly, the mother who really is into doing the best for their child, they want to have the best skincare for their child. And I have a 6-year-old, which I had like, 6 years ago. I was 42, and I was already like, I was such a skincare nerd, and I thought, I have to create products for her. I don't trust anybody. So her skin is amazing, but I also teach her from day one what to not do with her skin. Really not going for any product she can find somewhere. Just really stick to good products. But also a teenager. Pretty much. First of all, I think our next generation, and I include everybody here on this call because you're still students, but you guys, you're so savvy, you're so interested in what really works, the truth of everything, the not just following marketing slogans or some campaigns with some pictures of an expensive a photographer took. That's not what we are interested in. I think we're really interested in why do things work, and what does it exactly do, and what does it mean, and let's do some research. We are all very fast on our computer. Google has everything there for us, so we can become really experts. And especially when it comes to our skin and our health, I feel like in these days we're so much more interested, and don't let some people tell us what to do. So that's why I think there's a need for education. There's a need for really more information about everything we do, as a new form of marketing, or replacement of marketing. So my customer pretty much is everybody who's highly interested in effectiveness and science, in simplicity, but still highest quality.
Mhm. Um, it's interesting that you talk about the difference between educating your patients and customers versus marketing. How would you describe your marketing approach? Is partially, the skincare schools and some of the celebrities and influencers.
It's funny because I never went to a school with a marketing professor, and to me this is so exciting. I think I should take a course in your in the university if I ever could. But I think marketing had like it's a science as well. Marketing is a science, and you study your customer, so well what customers respond to. And quite frankly, if we think about, we go in a pharmacy and we see a product which says anti-aging. Oh, great, that's the product I buy. There we don't know anything about this product. Maybe it has ingredients which are toxic on our skin. Maybe it does the opposite. But we buy like an idea of a word. Yeah. And I think that's something so much better. I'm super unorthodox. I don't know anything about marketing. I do everything coming from my gut. And what I have in mind? My patient. I only think about my patient, my customer. It's my number one target. It's my number one thinking. What makes my customer happy? And when the lockdown started, a little bit before COVID, I was, proposing to Net-a-Porter, who I'm very close with. We're really the best-selling beauty brand on Net-a-Porter. We're like very much, it's my family, because they're really this was probably the aha moment in my career. But, when I proposed to them, let's do an online, a masterclass. I teach them, we send them little kits, and they can watch online how I do a facial. They can do it at home. No, maybe later. So when lockdown started, I said to my team, okay, that's what we are doing now with our customer right away. So we started that pretty much the same week. We did master classes. And then I was thinking, because I have 3 stepchildren in Washington, by the way, they are going to NCS and St. Albans school. And I was like, they're all at home. They're all at home. There's like, you know, they're probably in front of the computer or playing computer games with that, whatever. I said, I will start skin school for them. I teach them how to take care of their skin, not necessarily pushing my products. It's more about, okay, what do we need to do? What should we stay away from? Makeup wipes? Should we stay away from cleansing brushes? What are the 101s for, you know, healthy skin? So we started skin school, and that's something I totally love. And it's not about selling products. It's really just, what can I do to help the community? Because I'm a doctor. I'm not, yeah, I love skincare, but I'm still a doctor, and I try to help. I couldn't work in the hospital with the frontline workers, you know, and I would have liked to help there too. But you know, I'm not, I wasn't in a position. So I was thinking, what else can I do? And that's what came out of it.
And it's really an interesting evolution that we've seen, where skincare used to be something where you went to a department store and someone would help you understand how certain products were used and which ones were right for you. And so as we move to online sales, there really is a need for some of that education. And your skincare schools have become quite popular in that space.
But look, when you come into the store, and you know, to me, I didn't learn this either, but to me, you know, you come in the store, I tell you, the sales person is already biased, because some skincare brand already bought this person off or gifted like 20 products or whatever. So it's already, you're not already being advised in the most efficient way. You're already trapped into something, you know. And so I think owning your customer in the most positive sense, to me, makes the most sense. That's why I opened my stores, and that was before lockdown, because I said, you know, I don't want to buy into being in all these retailers and depending on, you know, and trying to convince the sales staff, you know, and having a big field team. I said, you know, I want to have my own stores, so people who are interested in Sturm, they can come, they get Sturm advice, they get Sturm education, and they get like you know, a good routine. Whereas you know, when they go somewhere else and they want to buy Sturm, they might get directed to a totally different product. So I think it's very, very necessary that I can speak to my customer, and if my customer or my patient has a question to me, I can answer directly. And now more than ever, you know, digitally, we can reach so many patients and people out there. You know, it's, you know, before I did like appearances, I went to Austin and New York and Dallas and all these places, and I was sitting in front of 50 people. Now I'm sitting in front of thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And, you know, it's, you reach so many more and can really educate. And I find that people are really interested. And when I do these master classes of skin school, and you know, we have our patients come on and we have this discussion, everybody said, thank you for doing this. So there I also feel that it's something which is appreciated.
And fascinating that you're talking about that intimate relationship with the customer. So we see that also in the hospitality industry, where, you know, once we had Expedia and you could decide among airlines, you could decide among hotels, and now many of the airlines and hotels are developing those one-to-one relationships with their customers and having them go directly to their sites and offering them more on their own sites. So it's really nice that you can develop that kind of intimacy with your customers. And how do you manage that tension between the retailers that you work with, like Net-a-Porter, maybe Neiman Marcus, and the stores that you have yourself and your direct-to-consumer sales? Is there tension
with the retailers? No, because I think no, they're selling Sturm well. They know I'm supportive of them too. I support everybody. For the lockdown, I did every day. I did like 10 videos, for Bergdorf Goodmans and Neiman's and Net-a-Porter. And we tried really to bring education to every channel, not just to ours, but also I really have great relationships with all my retailers, and I care about them as well, and I think that's also something, if you create a business, you need to worship everybody you're working with, and be respectful and give them attention. And that's not always easy, but that's how I grew the business. I think if David Olson, and I give him a big shout out because he was such an entrepreneur to me, and that he would take my brand. And I think, people like this, they just like, they're just so entrepreneurial themselves in discovering and trying stuff out and not following the obvious,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And do you enforce the same price across all of your channels so that Net-a-Porter sells the same product at the same price as your direct-to-consumer?
That is not always possible because you cannot talk about pricing to your retailers. It's just not allowed. Actually, you can get really in trouble for it. But yeah, around the corner, of course, we make sure, we trying to make sure that this is all the same. But now is Black Friday and Cyber Weekend, and I think all the retailers will go crazy this year. So I don't think you can direct them to anything,
Mm-hmm. And you sell all the products at each of the retailers, or do you have some products that you sell only from your own website?
That is also a very good question. I think because I'm like Willy Wonka, creating more products for all kinds of areas. I want everybody with a skincare question to get a solution from me. And at one point, the retailer said, "Oh, there are so many products." So I said to my team, now let's use that statement and really launch a bunch of products only on our website. That's obviously also like a trick to get our customers back to ourselves. But yeah, I think, there are some niche products which are really niche, and they belong to our website. Also, what I'm doing now, and this is probably quite interesting to you guys, I created a professional line. I'm very much directed for mature skin, super scientific. I'm going to introduce a new ingredient into the world, which I'm very excited about. Super scientific. And this line, actually, you only can get if you come to the store, if you come to our spa, if you have a professional FaceTime consultation. You can't get it anywhere. I won't market it. I won't do PR for it. I won't do anything. This will be like a hush-hush product. And that, me personally, I would go crazy for it. But I think that's very interesting. I'm actually doing marketing research for you here.
Yes, the exclusivity absolutely is attractive. Yes.
I think it's like the scarcity of not being able to get something makes people wanting a product even more. So
yes,
I also personally, the reason why I'm doing it is because I want the people to get education. Everybody who wants to use this product needs to understand the ABC of Sturm. Otherwise, they cannot use it. So, and that's, I think, my goal. And let's see how this goes.
Great. So one of your innovations recently has been the candy shop, where people can buy mini versions of products. How did you come up with that as a product packaging strategy?
You will love it. It's actually so funny, and everything I do is so random in a way. We did a pop-up for the Oscars. I got a house in Los Angeles, and it's a beautiful house, and it was just like empty because we didn't have furniture yet. And I said, okay, let's do a pop-up spa. So we did 4 facial rooms. We did like a whole anti-inflammatory house there. And I had a chef prepare anti-inflammatory food. It was like big happening. Everybody would come in for treatments and stuff. And we have all the travel sizes, all the minis. and we put them in big plexiglass, plexiglass containers, and they were all in line on a table, and it was like 1,000 products, but all in these, and it looked like a candy store. And, we put like the bags underneath. It looked like a candy store. And so I said, you know what, I want this in every of our store. I want this candy shop, and I want it on our website as a candy shop, because first of all, lots of people, they travel, not at the moment, but we want the little sizes. We don't want to have travel with the full size products. So this way I thought it was attractive to shop really the small size products and get a little more attention and focus that it's existing,
Yes, interesting. So you're influenced by these events that you host, and very interesting. Very interesting.
Whatever happens around me, I'm influenced by.
That's great. So talk about the product development process. How long does it typically take to develop a product, taking it from the initial idea into something that we can buy in one of your spas?
This is it differs like from product to product. So my fastest product, I tell you my fastest products were the glow drops. And the glow drops, the idea I had in January, I'm in the jury for a spa award, and we had like a conversation between some girls, and I don't know why I was like, my mind was going off this idea and say, oh, maybe I should do some glow drops. And so I went back and I had exactly in mind how the product should look like. I briefed my my team, my chemists, and everybody. I got a sample back a few weeks later, maybe 2-3 weeks later. The sample was amazing. I was like, oh my God, it's amazing. So my team's like, oh, let's put a little more glow in. So we got the second sample back, and I'm like, okay, let's go for it. So January was the idea. It was in the shelves with the retailers in September. That is unheard of. That is really unheard of. This was so fast, and this was my fastest product. And the longest product, probably my lip balm and body cream, and now the hand cream is coming out. Those things are so difficult, because I find like a lip balm. I mean, everybody's looking for the perfect lip balm, right? Everybody is trying to find the lip balm. And I didn't want a lip balm with mineral oils in it. I didn't want to have a lip balm with any negative and ugly ingredients in. So but the formulation needs to be just right, that it nourishes your lips and doesn't make your lip dependent on it. You don't have to do it over and over again, that it really has an effect. So this lip balm is amazing. It was 35 samples. And this is number 34 actually, because I did go one step too far and then switched back to 34. But it's at over 4 years, yeah? And body cream over 4 years, hand cream over 4 years.
Wow. And do you have to go through steps to have these approved for use on skin in terms of testing and efficacy?
So definitely, we by law only use ingredient, and also we have like a Sturm blacklist of ingredients, and we only use certain amount of ingredients. So by law, this is already like super tolerant. I never have any allergies with my products. I never experienced this with anyone. But of course, you have to do testing on stabilization and skin tolerance. You do these testings with every product, of course.
Mm-hmm. And so you have labs that are designed
Yes.
to conduct these tests, and then
That's why it's not just, when you talk about the glow drops, you have the glow drops, and then you need probably like 3 months to test them. Then you need to do the packaging. It's like 9 months is pretty unheard of.
It's impressive. And how have things changed since the pandemic? I mean, have they changed on the product development side? Have they changed on the marketing side, sales?
So product development, we never stopped with our product development. I think what changed a little bit here is that I have more interaction with my customer, and they're asking me for products, and I got asked so many times for a vitamin C serum. Now I made one just for my customer. I just I would never have done a vitamin C serum, but I thought there are so many bad ones out, so I decided to come out with the vitamin C, which is called the Good C. The Good C,
Nice,
because
nice.
there's a lot of misconception about vitamin C serums out there. Guys, if you use vitamin C, not above 5% concentration. It's important. But you know, product development always stays in active mode, because you know there are always ideas and there's always things to do. Other than this, I think we changed a lot in between the team, just because, you know, I think this was such a hardworking year. I worked harder than I ever worked, and I always worked hard in my life. And I think, you know, there you see which people, which members of your team go the same direction and are just there and show up. Like Michael, for example. Michael, we've done so many master classes in skin schools, and you know, he's like just there and organizing. And you know, it's not possible without the big team. By the way, we did something which is actually something you guys should watch on YouTube. It's called Maskathon, and this was an event we put together where we sent masks out to everybody who wanted to participate. So I think, I don't know how many, like 10, 15,000 masks we sent to everybody. And then we said, okay, we meet Saturday for 2 hours. So we all were masking. We did an event. We had maybe 30 or 40 celebrities speaking and sharing wisdom and singing songs and talking about. We had a scientist who talked about the COVID vaccine and like all this kind of stuff. And it's on YouTube. And if you guys have a moment, you should all watch it. I got inspired so much by everybody talking. It was amazing.
Great, great. One of the distinctive aspects of your line is the packaging. It's very sparse and minimalist. How did you think about the packaging and the way it speaks to your patients and customers?
You know, it's like, it's just what I liked, you know. I really, honestly, there's no thought. I mean, I'm such a you probably think, oh God, you know, she destroys everything I'm telling my students, but I only go with what I liked, you know, and I wanted to look great in every bathroom, you know, and clinical and medical, and less is more, and from the less the very best. So I decided to do soft touch, because at the time I was like, oh, the iPhone is my best friend, so I want the products to feel nice, so it feels like they're my best friends. I had like, you know, I actually invited a trend scientist to my clinic when I did packaging, because I was like, okay, I want to hear what this guy had to say. So he came. I paid him quite a lot of money, and then he told me about, you know, in the 70s, women wanted to have a Hoover, you know, this was like the thing, because, you know, they could clean the house easily. This was just like such a thing. And then he said, yeah, in the 80s and 90s, people wanted to have a car, and they wanted to have like the status symbols, you know. And he said, you know, the future will be all about experience, which is correct, you know, experience. Before COVID, everybody was traveling. Everybody wanted to find like experience, put it on their social and all this kind of stuff. And he said, homes, like furniture stuff, you know, and he said the iPhone will be your best friend. I mean, this was, and I was like, oh, okay, makes sense, you know. I believed him, and he was totally right, you know. Very interesting.
Yes, interesting. So it's one thing to know what you like, but then there are really lots of options and choices to make within that. So the soft touch packaging versus other options that you might choose. So it,
by the
even
way,
if you,
by the way, we're changing everything now. So the Good C is coming with no cellophane around. So cellophane has gone away. We changed the paper. We changed all of that. So because I'm producing so many products, I can't. You know, we're luxury, but we're not stupid. So we cannot, you know, we cannot keep doing this. Oh, we need to be luxury. We need to have like 10,000 boxes and 10,000 Ds. You know, we just go fully sustainable, and I think that's really important. And I wanted to tell you, I mean, I'm spilling some stuff, but whatever. So we're doing a line right now where, you know, it's about new packaging, you know, we're
Yes.
trying to figure out new packaging. And this line is a little bit more for the younger generation, you know, also a little more affordable and stuff. And we're thinking about the packaging. And, you know, I told you about that we started a college ambassador program.
Yes.
So if anybody is interested in joining this college ambassador program, so we asked them, so what packaging would you like? So we presented like a bunch of interesting packaging to us, and they're like, no, we like Sturm. It needs to be clinical, it needs to stay as it is. So now we just like, I just go, I stay with the packaging, with the everything as it is, maybe going a little bit into color, but basically nobody wants any change and they don't see us any other way. So what I think with packaging, you know, when you go in the pharmacy store and you see a product and it has like so much writing on it, it's so confusing. And who has the patience to read all of this? And, you know, if a product has, purifying, hydrating, super DNA inspiring, super essence toner. I mean, you're so confused, you know, my product says face mask, face cream. You know, it's just like, okay, that's all I want to know.
That's great. So what advice would you have for students who want to start their own business, students who are interested in the skincare industry, beauty industry?
So I definitely go for the product. But I have people coming to me and say, you know, can you listen to me? And I like to mentor people, you know, and there was this kid from London, and he's like, okay, my uncle owns this amazing marketing firm. I want to start a skincare brand. And, you know, I have these amazing ideas for young male consumers, and say, oh, that sounds really great. Yeah, I want to send you the deck for the presentation. I say, oh, yeah, sure, send it to me. It's interesting. Cool. How's the product? Yeah, we don't have a product yet. And, and I'm like, okay. And what's the price range? Yeah, 5 products for £50. And I'm like, yeah, this product will be shit. And if you don't have a product yet, you start with the product, you know, an idea starts with the product and not with your uncle's presentation or with a color or whatever, you know, it's just nonsense. So what I would say is, you know, if you have a great idea, try it out. If you love it yourself, if your friends love it, if you think you need it, if your friends need it, then this is a good basis to, you know, to come up with a concept for it, you know. But first, I think, is the product. And you also only should follow your passion and not, you know, being money driven, because I think in these days, kids think, oh yeah, let's do this quickly, and, you know, and then I will be, you know, successful. And, you know, it's not like that. I think it's better if you really do it for a good reason and for your belief and your strong passion for it. And then you will go through bad times as well, because it's not just everything smooth, you know. There's a lot you have to overcome. And I agree, in these times, it's you can build a business super easy because you have social, you have big support quickly, you know, whereas when I started, there wasn't social. You know, how do you market it? You just can't do, you know, mouth to mouth advertisement, you know.
So despite your somewhat reluctant entry into being an entrepreneur, now you run a big organization. How did you learn the skills that you needed to manage all the people that you work with on your teams, the stores, the direct to consumer? It's a big operation now.
I said, you know, I have a CMO. I said to her this morning, Emily, you know, I'm the CEO, but I haven't learned this. And, you know, this is really overwhelming. And, you know, it's not easy, you know, and I'm a control freak. And I feel like, you know, you have to stay on top of everything yourself as the founder and the owner of the business. Otherwise, it goes not always the right direction. And because I trusted people in their positions, ran into many problems. Yeah, which I'm still working on today. So you can avoid that with, if you want to overlook it yourself, you have to overlook it, but you have to overlook all the processes. And if you feel like you don't want to do that. You need to have a really good person who does that, who comes from a business background, who has done that before. I just think I can do everything because I'm Dr. Sturm. I just do it myself. But you know what the lesson I learned, you know, you need to hire the best people, and you need to really stay on it. And now I did, like, you know, through and after COVID, or through the period, the more I was focusing on finding the right team, putting the right team together, which now is in process. And then, you know, if you have like really competent people, you can also let go of things, you know, and that's a little bit my goal, to just try to not working 24/7, you know, because it's, you know, I enjoy this. I enjoy talking about it. I enjoy educating. I enjoy that. You know, I don't enjoy having discussions about ops and finance, you know.
Yes, yes. So I know our students and our board members of GRLA are really excited to ask some questions. I've seen lots of questions come in the chat. So why don't we turn it over to first the board members, and then to our students who would love to ask you some questions, if that's okay with you.
Oh, with pleasure.
Wonderful. Okay.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Professor Hamilton and Dr. Sturm, for a very insightful session. And then I think we can move now to the Q&As. There are very exciting questions in the chat. And so I'm now going to call on some of you, so you can voice out your questions. You can unmute yourself. So what if we start with Alex Frieder about your question between the difference between male and female schemes?
Sure.
So that's you. Okay.
Sorry. Thank you so much for coming and taking the time to speak to us today. So I was wondering, what are the primary differences in treating male and female skin, and how do you recommend products and treatments accordingly?
So of course there, you know, quite some differences in skin structure, also because we have a different hormone situation. You know, guys have more testosterone, we women have more estrogen, so the skin quality is different. Guys are less prone to wrinkles, but then they have all the, you know, hair follicle in their faces. They have more sebum production, so guys are prone to usually more breakouts and acne, mostly more oily skin. But other than this, you know, I think the essential steps in a skincare routine should be the same for men and women. You know, you need to cleanse your skin, and you need to find a really good cleanser which is also gentle to your skin and doesn't destroy your skin's pH, which is slightly acidic. So using gentle foam cleanser is what I would recommend. Then twice a week you should use an enzyme cleanser to exfoliate gently your dead skin cells, which is important to prevent you know, blackheads and breakouts and pore sizes. And then you know, you can add a step with the toner. If your tap water is too alkaline, then you want to have a pH balancing toner. And then a modern skincare routine has a serum for extra hydration, bringing active ingredients faster and more deeper into your skin. So a hyaluronic serum would be ideal, in a moisturizer. But you know, I don't know how ready you are to have like a routine that elaborate. But you know, for men, I always like, they put their cleanser and enzyme cleanser in the shower, or facial scrub if you prefer, as facial scrub. Cleanser, facial scrub in the shower. You got rid of those two steps already in the shower. And then just your hyaluronic serum and a nice face cream. You probably would like our men's face cream. And as a hyaluronic serum, what I recommend, especially in these times when we have Zoom calls and online university, use the anti-pollution drops as your hyaluronic serum, because it's hyaluronic serum based, but has ingredients to create a shield to block out the HEV light from your phones, because the HEV light, the blue light from the phones, actually penetrates the skin quite aggressively and quite deep and quite harsh, and can cause a lot of damage in the form of hyperpigmentation, premature aging, eventually cancer. So not just protecting from the sun is important, but also from the screens. So cleansing important, a serum and a moisturizer, and you're good.
Thank you so much. I actually use a lot of your products currently. I use
Your
the
skin looks
Dr.
amazing. I was hoping it's me.
And the men's face cream and the enzyme cleanser, which I actually use today after shaving and whatnot. But I actually have one more question in terms of what is the difference between blackheads and whiteheads, and how should we go about treating them? I know some people say, like, people are obsessed with popping them. I always veer away from doing that. So how do you recommend? I get whiteheads a bunch sometimes, especially on my chin with maskne and whatnot. So I wanted to know.
Yes. So you use the enzyme cleanser twice a week, yeah? You use the enzyme cleanser, no? You do.
Correct. Yeah.
So blackheads. So first of all, dead skin cells, the sebum, they can oxidate. They can oxidate in the pores. They get stuck in the pores, and when there is a like a space to oxygen, it becomes a blackhead. If there's no conjunctions with the oxygen, it's a whitehead. And then usually when you have a whitehead, bacteria get stuck together with the dead skin cells in the sebum, and then it becomes infected, and then you see you see it better even than a blackhead. Blackheads sometimes tend to stay very small, and a whitehead tends to become quite big. If you can avoid popping it, I don't know if you have the our spot treatment. Yeah, you too. You're so good. So avoid popping it would be great, because as soon as you pop it, you kind of cause a little lesion in the skin, and that can the sun can really come in and create hyperpigmentation. So ideally you would put sunscreen on it, and also the anti-pollution drops. So if you can avoid it, just let it heal by itself. And now with wearing the mask, the facial mask, we all have problems. I even got 2 breakouts here, and I never get breakouts, really, literally. But that is really from wearing this mask all day long, because of the friction to our skin. It dries out our skin underneath. We breathe into the mask. We create a milieu for bacteria, and it's a humid climate underneath. So what I want to recommend you guys, if you wear it a lot, try to do skincare routine in between. Cleanse your skin in this area, rehydrate your skin. Also, what I love, especially for this area now, also is the calming serum, because the calming serum keeps this area very smooth and healed, and keeps irritations away. But now more than ever, especially with the mask, we need to take extra care of our skin and keep the hydration going. Always keep hydration going, especially also when you tend to break out. Hydration is really the key to healthy skin. Never dry out your skin. Also, if you think, oh, now this spot treatment dries out all my skin, don't do it. It needs hydration always and always and always. And yeah, use maybe the enzyme cleanser a little more. When you feel like you get more breakouts, use the spot treatment. Which face cream do you use?
I use the men's face cream usually after I shave, but I use another like hyaluronic acid based face cream.
Okay, better use the hyaluronic acid as a serum, and then a face cream with, you don't need hyaluronic acid in a face cream, because it doesn't, from the galenic hair, it cannot penetrate that fast. And rather use a serum, and then have a moisturizer which addresses your specific type of skin. And that's the difference. So if you're a woman, you have super dry skin, you use a richer moisturizer. If you have oily skin, you use the light face cream, or you use the clarifying face cream. So this is the distinction between different skin types. Then you use your serums and your cleansers and all the same, but then with your face cream, with your moisturizer, you choose what's really fitted to your skin type.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Your skin looks
so
fantastic.
I think we have Anya Singh with another very good question. Anya, if you would like to unmute and voice out your question.
Hi, thank you so much for talking to us today. I ask you, what do you think is the single best preventative measure we can take for our skin? I'm inclined to say sunscreen, but I wanted to know what your thoughts were on that.
Prevention from what? Aging?
Prevention I would say like improving texture and aging.
Okay, I tell you something about the sun. Yeah, and it's very non-American. So the sun has some really important positive aspects. Yeah, and we need to not forget about them. You know, number one, it helps to produce endorphins, which is important for our mood. Yeah, so sun makes us happy. Then the sun is responsible for our vitamin D production, which is responsible for our bones and for our immune system. The sun also helps producing an ingredient called nitric oxide, and this is really important for our white blood cells in our immune system, but also important for our respiratory tract. And you know, especially now when our respiratory tract gets hit, and there are actually studies from Singapore which says that if you get COVID, you need to sit in the sun a lot because it helps the healing process. Yeah, so let's not just, you know, just forget about the sun. Another thing I want to tell you, that sunscreens itself are not great ingredients for your skin. So sunscreen, never really good for the skin. So other than this, the sun is also responsible for 89% of the signs of our aging. So, you know, we need to take what's good from the sun, but not overdo it. So if we are now lying in the sun for hours without sunscreen, that would be a huge mistake. You know, in America, I think there's a lot of wisdom around always 24 hours using sunscreen, and lots of ingredients in skincare make our skin being conditioned that you need the sunscreen. You need it. You totally need it, because lots of skincare products have ingredients which destroy our skin barrier. And the skin barrier is our protection tool, and it's kind of like a natural shield to our outside. So if the sun hits an unprotected skin, yeah, you should better have sunscreen. But then also you should use HEV protection, like blue light protection, because it's same aggressive like UVA, UVB, the HEV light, you know, hits the skin pretty hard as well. So sunscreen, I want to agree, but I also want to disagree. Yeah, I think to me the most important facts for preventing skin is anti-inflammation. So keep inflammation out of your skin from the inside out. Also keep hydration going in your system, but also on your skin. A dehydrated skin has a very weak skin barrier. And one of the biggest aging reasons is a weakened skin barrier. Yeah, because our skin barrier leaks and weakens, we get unevenness in our skin, we get aging, we have transepidermal water loss. So these are all not good things. So hydration is important. And then another thing I want to tell you is telomerase activation. And that's, I don't know if you heard of it, but it's the most proven anti-aging theory when it comes to age reverse. So they did a test on mice in Harvard. And it's the only ingredient which not only stops the aging process, but also reverses it on mice. Yeah. So the reason for aging lies really in the number of our cell divisions. Yeah. And to make our cells strong and divide as many times as they can, that's the goal here. Yeah. So stay away from everything which accelerates your cell turnover and destroys healthy cells, like retinol, retin-A, glycolic, hydroquinone, lasers. Stay away from all of this. Yeah, that's a myth and not good for your skin.
Okay, thank you for those recommendations. I feel we're all jogging down the tips here. And so we have another question from Ashley Paddock, if you want to voice it out.
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for taking out the time to talk to us today. So as a freshman who's just entering college, I was just wondering that since I don't get a lot of time to take care of my skin, it would be great to know if you recommend some products, especially for college students, because, you know, the stress and everything with the busy schedule, if you have any tips for us.
So I would keep it super simple. Yeah, because as you said, you don't have much time, and you know, it's better to keep it simple but from the simplicity, just the best. So I would definitely want you to use the anti-pollution drops. You know, they create like this this protection from the HUV light, which our skin gets hit every day now because we sit in front of our phones, and a face cream. And what skin type are you? A more oily skin or combination? Do you know?
I think I have more of a dry skin and a very sensitive skin, so I can't use just any product because it actually ruins my skin.
So then use the anti-pollution drops and the normal face cream, and then get a cleanser, foam cleanser, anti-pollution drops, a normal face cream. Start with those and see how you like it. And you use the anti-pollution drops, you put it on your skin, then you wait 20 seconds, and then you put the face cream on. And that could be as simple as this, okay?
Thank you.
So nice to meet you.
Awesome. We now have Stephanie Plaza, and after Stephanie, we'll have one more question.
Hi, Dr. Sturm. Thank you so much for talking to us today. I know that you spoke a little bit about like booking the right team, hiring the right people, but also kind of like taking a step back. So can you talk about balancing your time between research and product development and business and your personal life, and maybe what like a typical 24 hours looks like in your life?
You don't want to know that. It's terrible. It's really terrible. It's like if I had the recipe for that, I would be so much better. But I think now I'm a little better because I'm with my children. So we cook together and we have our meals together. Before I was just traveling and working, as I work now too. But it's hard if you're so into something and you created this monster which now you have to feed. You can't just let go of one part, because then you don't know if it will work out. So now I took on this whole adventure, which I also love, and I'm passionate about it. And I even have this mission to get every skincare brand to change to a better philosophy, which actually addresses the needs of the skin and doesn't destroy it. So it's this mission is huge, and it's a long way to go. And so yeah, it's hard to find time for yourself. It's something I need to become better at. But my older daughter is 24 and she makes me work out, so it's one good thing.
Great, thank you.
Nice to meet you.
You as well.
Wow, that's amazing. I think that we all need some tips on how to balance out the different phases of life. But now to hold our last question for the session, we're now going to call on Elvira. So if you want, you can voice out your question now.
Thank you. At what age should humans start using anti-aging products?
That's a really good question. So, aging starts pretty much when we come in our puberty. You don't see it right away, but that's when it hits us. And the first visible signs of aging start probably when we're around in our 20th. So anti-aging should be non-toxic. Anti-aging should be healthy to your skin, should be healing to your skin, should be making your skin better, and instead of attacking it. And unfortunately, most anti-aging products do attack your skin, so you shouldn't use that. Never, period. If a product says don't use it when you're pregnant, that's always a good test. If a product says that, just don't use it. But other than this, we do anti-aging on ingredient science based, which is in all our products. So we use a really interesting ingredient, for example, called purslane, which is telomerase activating. It's anti-inflammatory, it's wound healing, it's rich in beta-carotene, omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin C, E, A. So it has all these amazing characteristics, which we make, we synthesize in a lab, obviously. But I think those ingredients you can use when you're young. I think everybody now, as they're going to university and being on the computer, should have the anti-pollution drops. That's definitely anti-aging. It's also preventative. Or if you want to use the super anti-aging serum, use it because it's healthy, it's healing, it's preventative. It's great. So good anti-aging you can use early, if my six-year-old daughter eats it, I'm fine because it's healing, it's healthy, it's not toxic. And I think that's what we need to pay attention to. Don't fall into the trap of empty marketing words like anti-aging. Might not be what you think it is. Do your research, look into ingredients, go and Google the ingredients, see what it does for yourself, and then decide, is this something I want to use? Yeah, if you guys are using Sturm, you can use anything you want at any time. And Michael, I hope we also get everybody like a good discount code for the site if you guys want to try some Sturm products. We also have like bundles created for you guys, that you can shop a whole routine. So whatever you need. Also, if you want a FaceTime consultations with our estheticians, they're amazing. You can do that. If you want more information, and come to skin school, come to master classes, join the college ambassador program. I always love to chat with you guys, and I'm definitely reachable. Reach out to my team, and it's been a total pleasure to be doing this today. I should do this way more often.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Storm, for this insightful conversation. It was super informative. I think we all wrote down your tips. And thank you, everyone, for submitting your questions as well. We will be sending everyone an email with a surprise sheet and more information regarding the Team Sturm College Ambassador Program. So thank you, everyone, for joining, and definitely stay tuned for our events next semester.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Professor Hamilton. It's been really, really so nice. And I hope I see you in person when I come back to Washington.
We'd love to see you on campus and love to see you in Washington. Thanks so much.
Thank you, guys. Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Bye.